Welcome to the Green Urbanist podcast, where we explore sustainable placemaking, climate action in cities, and urban rewilding. I'm your host, Ross O'Kelly, an urban designer, educator, and sustainable placemaking consultant. Hello. Welcome back to another episode. Today is a little quick announcement of something I've been working on, which I think will be useful to a few of you listening. So if you've listened to a couple of my recent podcasts, and if you're following me on social media, you'll know that I've recently launched a nonprofit called Urban Wilding Hub. And one of the things that I'm trying to do with that is actually to crowdsource a map of urban wilding projects across Europe. And so there is an embedded interactive map on the website, which is urbanwildinghub.com. And on that embedded map, anyone can go on and add a location of a wilding site and fill out a little form to give some information about that. And then I review all the submissions and I approve the ones that are, appropriate for that map, basically. Now that little piece of software sounds like it should be something really simple to do. And I thought there would be, some simple tools out there to put together a map like this. Maybe those of you listening who have done digital public engagement processes before, or who have tried to do some sort of citizen science or some crowdsourcing of data on maps, spatial data, you've maybe come across this same issue that I came across, which is that there are tools out there that allow you to do this, to create a map that looks good, that is easy to use, that's intuitive, and for people to add, data that then you can host on a public map. But they tend to be really expensive. So I was pretty surprised that I found a couple of tools that were very, very premium. They had amazing features. They looked great, all the bells and whistles, but it was like way more than I needed. And it was very, very expensive. I didn't have the budget for it. And then really the free version was just to use Google Maps and to have like an embedded Google Maps, which looked awful. It didn't sit on my website properly. I couldn't customize anything about it. So I didn't want to do that. So I thought, God, how hard can this really be? So I set out to try and cobble together my own tool based on, resources I could find online. And I found, actually, with a couple of hours of concerted effort, I was able to put together a really usable, simple mapping tool for crowdsourcing data. And that's what you see on the Urban Wilding Hub website. And it's called GatherMap. GatherMap because it's a map where you gather data. And I've been using this by myself for a little while. I've been updating it when I found that, it needed more features. I also released a public version for people to use for free. I sent that out on my newsletter list, and I put up a little video on YouTube just to see if people were interested in it. And I found actually by doing a very minimal amount of marketing, a couple of people, maybe about 7 or 8 people, jumped onto the free version and tried it out and gave me some feedback, which was really appreciated. So that let me improve the tool more. And I'm at a point now where I'm actually really happy with it. I think it really kind of bridges a gap in the market where, it's not a really horrible, clunky free tool. It's not a really expensive premium tool. It's just an affordable, very good, but quite simple and basic tool for doing these interactive crowdsourced maps. And so I'm making it available now to the public, and I'm going to start talking about it more and more. Who is this for? So I think GatherMap really has 3 main use cases. One is for public engagement processes. So this is where you're planning a development or you're working on some sort of local planning or a neighborhood plan, and you want to get community input onto that. So you can host this map whatever location in the world you want. So, it's the background is based on OpenStreetMap. So literally the whole world is mapped in quite a lot of detail. And you can basically deploy this for whatever use. So if you're doing a local plan, you advertise it for local people, and they can very easily just go on and add points and say, we want a swimming pool here, or you need to improve this park, or whatever it is. And you can give them instructions for exactly what sort of stuff you're looking for. The other use case is for, like I'm using it, nonprofits, NGOs, campaigns, where you want to gather information, crowdsource information for a particular social cause or a humanitarian issue. And so you can ask people to actually submit the data that is relevant to, we'll say, earthquakes, disaster relief, or in my case, the Urban Wilding Hub, it's about encouraging people to get involved in a community and to make themselves visible. The projects that they're working on, make them visible so that we can all start to get to know each other. Really, really lovely tool for that. And then the third one is really for research. So for citizen science, for crowdsourcing data, this is becoming an increasingly common method in social sciences, in geography, urbanism, spatial studies, is actually, getting members of the public to submit spatial data, and then you can, take all that data and analyze it in any way you like. One of the features that I really like about it is that you can download all the data that people submit as a CSV file, which you can open as a spreadsheet, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So let's say, for instance, you are running a public engagement process or research process for a couple of months or a set period of time. After that, you close the map, and then you can just download all your information and you just save it as a spreadsheet. You're not locked into the GatherMap system. You don't have to use an awkward web-based spreadsheet tool. You can just download it and do with it whatever you like. So yeah, it's very user-friendly, user-centered in that way. It is available as a free version with some limitations. So I might be tweaking these as we go along, so I won't mention exactly what the limitations are now. But essentially with the free version, you can make one map and you can have a limited amount of submissions onto that map. So that means you can try it out for free, or if you're just doing a small project, just use it for free. That's no problem. But then if you want to have multiple maps for different projects, and if you want to have many, many submissions, unlimited submissions, then there is a pro version of GatherMap, which is very affordable. Right now I'm putting up at €15 a month. 15, not 50, not 500, €15 a month. That's what it is at the moment. If you're listening to this episode sometime in the future, who knows, that might have changed. But right now I'm launching it at €15 a month. And then I will also have another paid tier, which is for a specific use case, which I think exists, and I'm going to test this out, which is people who just want one map and only for a limited amount of time, and they don't want to pay monthly, they just want to pay everything up front. And I think this will really suit research projects or non-profit programs where they get funding for a project, but they don't have, they can't have a monthly outgoing every month into the future. They just get some funding to do it once, and they want their map to stay online for a certain period of time. So if you go on to the GatherMap website, which is in the link of this podcast description, which is in the podcast description. The link is in the podcast description, excuse me. You'll see that there is a pricing option there for paying for a map upfront and not having a monthly subscription. I'm going to be testing that out a little bit. Would really, really like, feedback if you go for that. And I'll if you sign up, I'll sort of send you a little email just to say, hey, I hope you're enjoying it. Give me some feedback. So that's it. It's a very visual thing, so there's kind of limited what I can actually tell you about it in a podcast. The best thing to do is, if you're thinking, oh, this sounds quite useful, I should check this out, just click on the link that's in the episode description. There's a video that explains everything really clearly on the webpage, and you can start for free. So just sign up for an account for free. You get your one map, test it out, see what you think. If you like it, you can upgrade to the Pro. If you don't like it, or if there's anything that you think is missing that makes it unusable for you, there is a feedback button within the dashboard. So once you've signed in, you can just submit some feedback, and that is super, super helpful for me to keep improving it. And it might be something quite simple that I can just add in and make it, really useful for you. So it's always worth submitting the feedback. We are early days. It's a small user base, and it's just me working on it. So you have direct connection to the person who's making the tool, and I'd love to keep improving it. Okay, folks, that is it. Thank you for listening to this. Thanks for always following along with the work that I'm doing, and I hope this is useful for some of you out there, and I look forward to hearing how you're using it and getting your feedback on it. Stay subscribed, stay tuned for some more episodes coming up, And there will definitely be more news and announcements related to Urban Wilding Hub, which is what I'm spending most of my time on these days. And it would be great to have you following along on that as well. Okay, thanks very much.